Hey guys, welcome back to the farm. Yesterday I finished the bean planting. Everything went really well. There weren't hardly any problems at all. Had a couple rows act up on me, but other than that, it was great. So this week I finished. What was it? We had about 300 acres left of beans. I got that done. Took quite a while because there were like 50 risers in a couple of the fields, so it was a lot of work. So got that done. Today, Jake and Grandpa are in the last field we call the bottoms. It's about 460, 500 acres around there. It's all one big field, so we're going to go check out those guys later. In the meantime, we've got a bin to fix. So behind me is our second 100,000 bushel bin. Goes all the way up there. It's a big one. And the power sweep in it is currently not working. So I shoveled it out to where I could get to it so I can see what's all going on. And in fact, I guess we can just go take a look at it really quick so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This bottom shaft here is powered by the motor on the outside of the bin. This runs your unload auger that takes the corn from here out and to the auger that loads the truck. So you can see there's a sprocket here and a sprocket here. This is an idler to keep your chain tight. That takes power from this floor auger and runs it up to this shaft, which is the power sweep. So when you engage this right here from the outside, it'll lock those two together, spin your chain, spin your power sweep, and that will then move around the bin like so, and move the grain towards the center and out this hole here. So I came here, got the plate off, looked at everything, and we were missing, this sprocket came off, and the chain, I'll show you here in a little bit, is really, really stiff. See how stiff this old one is? I guess it's probably hard to see, but it takes quite a bit of force to get that chain. You can see how it's just sticking in these weird shapes versus this guy. So it's shot. So we're going to replace the chain, get the sprocket back on, and get her going. So it may look like I made this one link too short, but when you think about it, I still got to put in this one, and that will finish it out and make it the right length. So should be good. Okay, you can tell we're not at the bins anymore. I took a break from that. Actually, I needed a part that Grandpa had to finish that project up. We'll get back to that later and get it going. But now we are in what we call the bottoms. It's a 460, 500 acre field, as I mentioned before. Jake is out here with the 24 row Kinsey, and Grandpa is in front of me right now. He's got his 4440 with the 12 row corn planter, and they're both getting after it. We'll hop up in the drone here in a little bit, but Grandpa, he is itching to give you guys a little teaser on what this field is all about and what we've done to it over the years. I say we, a lot of it was done before I was any use on the farm, or even alive, really. So he's going to talk a little bit about that, and in the future I plan on doing a full video just on this field. I mean, so much work has gone into it. I think you guys would like it, and if you're a farmer, maybe it'll give you some ideas on how you can maybe do something to your field. So yeah, let's go talk to him. Dead or alive?
I ain't checking. He looks alive to me.
You got a stick?
He just engulfed the mouse.
He's not fighting at all. No, he's dead.
Here. These are two railroad tank cars. They were set up here upside down and poured concrete in bottom so they don't flow out. And there's a 24-inch tile in and a 12-inch tile line. You can see the water coming in here. And that's a lot of water running in the tank. When the tank gets a certain height, it overflows into the other railroad car. And today, this thing kicks on about every 15 or 20 minutes. If you can see down there well enough how fast that water is flowing in out of that big line here. There's actually two of them. One's still under. And that's all water coming out of these tiles. It's patterned tile. And the reason why into these tank cars is because the tile line would be below the creek line, so you couldn't drain the water. So basically built a huge well, two wells. We drain the water into the wells, and as the water comes up, the pump kicks on, pumps on a laser, and as the water rises, it kicks on, and the higher it gets, the faster the pump goes. And it'll pump up to 12,000 gallons a minute. There's regular pipe drainage for a normal rainfall, but when the creek gets high, the flaps close on the drain pipes, and we have to depend upon this big pump and these tanks to take care of the tile water and a small rain. And the farm is totally surrounded by water, so the water level is most of the time higher than the farm itself. And this is one way of solving the problem. This was primarily a wetland, wet pasture land that had been used for years and farmed some high spots in it. Now it's basically 500 acres. We laser graded it to start with, and after we laser graded it, we still were wet, so we patterned tiled it. And our pump just kicked off, and as soon as the water level comes in, you can see right now how fast that water's coming in out of that big line. You know, it's probably, I'd say it's running in a couple thousand gallons a minute off those big lines there. And that's when it's basically what looks to be dry outside, the dust is flowing.
Yep.
But the system works real well. It was the only way I could figure out how you could successfully tile it and drain it. And it has done a real good job. It's probably one of our most productive farms that we farm. It's primarily the Wakeland soil type, which is a silted-in loam, and some gumbo in some spots. Because when we graded it, we had to cut down below the Wakeland topsoil, and we got into the gumbo that was originally done underneath it. But if you look around, you can see we're 100% levee, and we're 100% surrounded by water.
It's hard to see that now, but we'll hop up in the drone here and
we'll fly over it, and you
Yeah.
see how vast it is. There's 500 acres in this field and 850 that's contiguous to it that we farm. But this is probably the most challenging farm, but it's also the best farm too.
well, now all the problems are pretty much solved, aren't they? As
The
far
problems
as
are pretty well solved. It's a lot of maintenance, keeping the levee mowed and repair, and extreme high water will top the levee, but it takes an extreme high water. You know,
I've only seen it once, and it made this field into a 500-acre
we had a
lake.
500-acre lake. Yeah, we blew a big hole down in there, and we had 8 or 9 inch rain one night, and the next rain we had about 5 or 6, and the creeks were full, and they had to go somewhere, and it went over the levee and made a 500-acre lake. I've actually water skied over this whole farm already when it flooded. But anyway, that's the story.
I forgot to mention that before this electric pump was here, we had a diesel pump that we would have to come fill up every once in a while. And now, you can see behind me, we've got a power pole and all of our power stuff here. We trenched a line down and under the creek and back up over here. And it's really hard to see, I doubt you can, but there's a hill that runs up there. And we trenched a line all the way up the hill, and that's where we got our power from. Got an easement and everything, and that was quite the day. We did all that in a day. Got all the power down here in a day, and it's nice now because we don't really have to worry about it. You come down here and you mow, and for the most part, it runs really well. So he said it got laser graded back in the day. That was back in the 80s, I think. I think I might have a couple newspaper articles on it or something I can throw up. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We'll hop in the drone and take a look around. So I managed to find a couple pictures here, and the first one is of Dave F. Tank and my grandpa. This is from the Farm Impact magazine, the August 1983 edition, and you can see they're in the bottoms there watching two tractors do some scraping. He mentioned earlier that the field was laser leveled, and you can see that here. And in the next picture, we've got a couple things going on. The picture on the right is the actual laser level they used for this project. They set it up in the field, and its range was about 12 or 1,500 feet, and they like to keep it in the 1,200 feet range for accuracy. The picture on the left is another scraping setup, and I included the Rome logo because all of this scraping was done by Doomy Excavating Company, and Danny Doomy has been a longtime friend of ours, and he now owns the Rome company where they make disc rippers, scrapers, and a bunch of construction equipment. And he watches the channel all the time. So, hey Danny, how's it going? You feeling? You feeling?
bag storm?
It's coming this way too.
It is. It's heading right for us. Look at that.
Okay, back at the farm now. I stayed there and helped Jake fill up his planter before I left. They're down to bags now instead of bulk boxes, so helped them do that. Now we're back here at this project to get this done, and chain's ready to go. Got my sprocket here, and Grandpa stopped at Ace and got some keys. It's a 1/4 inch key stock. That'll go on our sprocket there, like that, like that. So, get that on, test fire it, and might just go ahead and fill this truck up. So, let's get to it. We are hooked up, ready to go. You guys saw me flip that lever. That will make it engage with the unload auger, with the bin. So, I'm gonna hit this button on the countdown, and we'll see if it works. 3, 2, 1. Yes! Success! Uh-oh, got an avalanche. Sweet. Okay. Wow. First try. Okay, now it's time to troubleshoot. So, got the truck about half full and the power sweep kicked off on us. So, I shoveled back out around this plate, and it's filling back up really fast, but shoveled back around this plate so I can see what's going on. These two connections here are what gets the power through this sprocket set up into the gearbox of the power sweep. So what's happening right now is everything is still spinning, but these two connections are bypassing each other. And I think that's what this adjustment right here is for. If you guys can see that, there's a second, oh goddamn, this burr. There's a second hole for an adjustment, and I believe if I take this bolt out, move it over to this hole, it'll get this closer to this, and it won't allow it to bypass. So that's my theory right now, and we're gonna try it out. Well, you're probably thinking that I got the truck full, but that's not the case. The sweep is working great now. It is, with the move of that lever, it's shutting on and off, which is good. I guess the bin is set to it's open too much. So that's something that I didn't notice, and it was too late when I did notice it because I was trying to get the truck to build air and burn the belts off on the motor that was unloading the bin. So it's a little hard to tell just because the auger that feeds the truck keeps up really well, and there's a pile of corn sitting there where the power sweep moves the corn to the center. So from those two things, it looks like the unload auger is doing its job and it's not getting overloaded, but I guess it was, and I found out too late. So belts are burned up. I don't have a set. Shop's closed. It's Friday. Nobody's there late. So yeah. But the biggest takeaway is that the power sweep's working, and I'm happy that I got that going and my theory was right. So I'm gonna shut this truck off and call it a day. I appreciate you guys coming along and checking out the bottoms. It's a pretty cool field, and sticking around to see me work on this power sweep. So until next time, I'll see you later. Thank you.